Hello yogis, today we're going to practice classic sun salutation. I'm Kathy and this is Lucy. Lucy will be actually going through the practice as I cue her. So let's get started. We're going to start at the top of our mat in mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms above your head. Exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back in a nice big step. Then your left foot meets your right in downward facing dog. Come out to plank, and with control, very slowly lower all the way to the mat. Lift your heart to cobra. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. We'll take one round of breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg behind you and step your right foot next to your right thumb. Lower your hips to a low lunge. And step your left leg next to your right leg. Forward fold. Inhale to rise. Sweeping your arms above your head. Palms together, draw your hands to your heart center. All right, now let's move to the other side. Inhale, sweep your arms above your head. Fold forward. Plant your hands, step your left foot back, low lunge. Your right foot steps back to meet your left, downward facing dog. Now come out to plank, and with control, slowly lower all the way to the mat. Lift your heart to cobra. Press back, downward facing dog. Take one round of breath here. Inhale and an exhale. And on your next inhale, lift your left leg and step your left foot next to your left thumb. Then your right foot meets your left foot. Forward fold. Then inhale, rise. Press your palms together and draw your hands to your heart center. Now let's break this down. Our feet are about hip distance apart and our toes are pointing forward. Really engage your quads, so maybe your kneecaps lift up. Your lower belly is engaged and your jaw is soft. Your chin is in line with your sternum and your shoulder blades are on your back. So you can lift your shoulders up to your ears and then lower them behind you. Yeah. So now you see Lucy's in a really nice straight line. She's very strong, just like a mountain. So on your inhale, sweep your arms above your head. And then exhale, pull your navel to your spine, soften your knees as you fold forward. And bow your head. And step your right foot back to a low lunge. Step it back really far. And you want your hips you don't want your hips hiked up. Why don't you show them, Lucy? If you hike up your hips, so you don't want your hips hiked up like this. You want to try to drop your hips. And then again, you're in line from the tip of your head all the way down to her heel. Now take an inhale, and on your exhale, lift your hips and take your left foot back to meet your right in downward facing dog. And then you want to check out your downward facing dog. So if your hamstrings are tight, your knees can be bent. You can walk your dog here a little if you'd like. Maybe sway side to side. Good. And then you're going to, on an inhale, come out to plank. Now from here, a modification is to place your knees on the mat and lift your feet up off the mat, okay? So you want to come into your, you want to lower in a nice straight line to the mat. You want your belly pulled in, and you want your chest to come to the mat first before your belly. So on an exhale, Lucy's going to lower all the way to the mat, her elbows pointing back towards the corners of her mat. Good. And then on an inhale, she's going to press her hands into the mat and lift her heart. She's using her triceps and her back to lift her heart. And then on an exhale, press back to downward facing dog. You can come to hands and knees, and then to downward facing dog. Good. So then you want to step your right foot next to your right thumb. You're going to lift your right leg up behind you. And then bend the knee and bring it in towards your nose as you step your right foot next to your right thumb. And then your left foot meets your right. Forward fold. Press your feet equally into the mat with a soft bend in your knees. Rise, floating your arms out to the side, up above your head. Draw your hands together, Anjali Mudra, to your heart center, or your heart chakra. Downward facing dog. The tip of your head is in line with the tip of your tailbone. Knees behind your hips. Lift your feet. Very slowly, with control. Chin, chest. Lower the tops of your feet to the mat. Press your hands into the mat to lift your chest to cobra. Come to your knees. Curl your toes under, press back to downward facing dog. Good. Okay, so a modification for stepping through. Starting in downward facing dog, bring your knees to the mat. And then take your left leg and bring it in between your hands or next to your left thumb. You can step around it like that, yeah. If your foot gets stuck halfway up, so you lift and you get stuck there, just grab it with your hand and move it to where it needs to be. And then lift your back knee up off the mat, press your hands into the mat, engage your core and step your left leg next to your right. Forward fold. And then you'll press your feet into the mat, inhale to rise, press your palms together and draw them to your hand, heart center.